Hello and welcome. Thanks for taking the time to watch this introduction to a 40th anniversary photography project commissioned by NICE. To introduce myself, my name is Bryony Reid, and I work with my sister and colleague Gemma. We have backgrounds in visual art, heritage and cultural geography, and between us a couple of decades of experience in engaging with communities in Northern Ireland on place, the past, identity and memory. And we've been asked by NICE to oversee and co-curate this photography project. So as you'll know, this year celebrates 40 years of integrated education in Northern Ireland, and it's an opportunity to reflect on the past, as I said, to celebrate all that's been achieved and to consider how to grow to meet the needs of the next generation. So we're inviting with NICE, your school community, to join this photography project, which really is meaning to create visual stories about what integration means today. In this project, you're going to help pupils identify and share their experiences of integration and to consider how to capture those experiences in photographs. We've been imagining integrated education as a garden, a safe and nurturing space in which young people can develop their identities alongside learning and connecting with others. Gardens, of course, need steady care and attention in order to grow. And gardeners are dealing with weeds, pests, disease, drought and flood, and they're harnessing weather, soil and their own skills to enable plants to come into being and to thrive. If it helps both you and your pupils to explore what integration means by thinking about your school as a garden, maybe you can ask yourself and them, who are the plants, who are the gardeners, what are the soil, sun and water, and what does your garden need in order to grow? We wonder what your pupils will come up with when they're asked what integration means and how it might differ from your own thoughts and experiences as adults and teachers. This exploration of integration is a preliminary to the activity of taking photographs. So you'll be guiding your pupils through a process, and we are asking you to go through a shortened version of that process yourselves, just to prepare yourself for bringing your pupils through it. So there's this introductory video that we've been asking you to watch. There's going to be a homework, and then we're going to come together to reflect on your experience of this whole process in an online workshop after half term, again, before you begin it with your pupils. So we're asking you to think about how you might see integration happening in your school. We're prioritising the visual. So you might come up with words first of all, but try to move from thinking in words about integration to thinking of how you could show what those words describe. So using your smartphone, if you have one, or maybe even a class iPad, plan to take a photo here and there between classes or on your break or at lunch or after school or before it starts. We're not asking you to spend a lot of time doing this, but maybe over the course of a couple of weeks, taking at least 5 or 6 photographs. At this stage, we're suggesting you don't include pupils or fellow staff members in your photographs, at least not so they're recognisable, because that will avoid any issues to do with permission. If you're not already used to observing and photographing what's around you, the first step is just to look. So just try paying extra attention to your environment as you go through the school day. We have a few suggestions to help you look in new ways, which we've illustrated with some of our own photographs. So for a start, you might look up. Often when we are walking about a town or on a street, we don't look at what's above us, and sometimes you notice new things and sometimes it changes how you view your environment. So looking up is a good exercise. Looking down, likewise, you can notice different things when you look closely at the ground you're walking on. Is there anything new? And again, does it change how you view your environment? You might try looking through. So you might look in a different way by varying your eye height, for example, to see if a new perspective of a familiar view emerges. Or it might be possible to see beyond or onto the other side of something you see regularly and perhaps take for granted. Something might change for you when your look moves through or beyond rather than stopping at a surface, like a wall or a door or a window. You might look on your desk. You might notice things you've stopped seeing because they're so familiar. You might think about why you have what you have on your desk and what it means and how the objects work together. Likewise, you might look on a shelf and go through a similar process with your desk, thinking about why the things that are there and what they mean when put together, or what story you can tell, perhaps. You might look behind something, you might notice something that is hidden or half hidden that you can look behind, trying to see behind what is immediately noticeable. And again, thinking about whether that sheds new light on your surroundings. Or you might look closely, so noticing things that are small scale or unobtrusive or difficult to see. And again, thinking about whether it sheds new light on your surroundings. We want to emphasize that photographic quality isn't an issue in this project. So any photographs taken by any of you are going to be useful and interesting. You may have skill, you may feel you don't have skill, but anything that you photograph will be worth looking at and reflecting on. The main aims of the project, just to reiterate, are to explore the meaning of integration for yourself and then with your pupils, and working out how to represent your thoughts and their thoughts in photographs. So for our online workshop, choose 3 of the photographs you took and just be prepared to explain your thinking. What made you take the photograph? What does it mean to you? We look forward to seeing you and your work then and hearing about your experience of trying to see integration.